Okay, we're going to slowly get started here. I don't see anyone has joined as of yet, but we'll get started. So welcome to the 3:30 yoga class. It will be a 45-minute class. The focus on today's class, oh, hello, Karen. You're welcome to keep your camera on or off throughout the class. I was just going to get started. The class for today will be 45 minutes in length. I was thinking that today's focus will be a little bit on shoulders and just spine mobility, just to get us warmed up in case if we didn't do a lot of movement today, just to get ourselves ready. I will start off slow through the first couple weeks just so that we can get ourselves acquainted. But over the course of the next couple months, we will be working ourselves into a more consistent vinyasa flow. With that being said, just make sure that your area around you is clear of any hazards so that you don't have anything that you can trip on. For today's class, you don't really need much, just your mat and yourself, so you won't need any shoes. Bare feet works well. Aside from that, there won't be any equipment needed, and we will get started. Before we get started, though, I do always like to remind everyone that for today's class, you know your body best, so always go at your own pace. Take breaks as needed. If at any point throughout class you experience any faintness, dizziness, pain, or shortness of breath, always stop at your own pace, take rest, and stop exercising. But we're going to get started. So I'm going to make my way over to my mat. So I'm just going to pin this screen here so that way it'll be set. And this is fairly new to me, so I'm still kind of test trying it. Okay, perfect. So we're going to get started. So on your mat here, we're just going to start in a laying down position. Just come onto your backs here beneath you. Then from here, just allow your arms to lay nice and soft on either side of the body. Notice where your spine is in space. Notice the curves along the back body and the spine. Notice where your head is resting. And just take a few moments to take a few inhales and exhales through the nose. Just becoming aware of the breath as your belly rises and falls with every breath. Another full cycle of breath here. Deep inhale, deep exhale. On your next inhale, if your legs aren't nice and long, we'll just lengthen them along the mat. And then from here, take a nice deep inhale. Windmill the arms around, the fingertips reach towards the back wall behind you. Take a nice big stretch. And as you exhale, draw the right knee in towards the body. Maybe you interlace the fingertips just below the right knee. From here, get a nice big squeeze. Take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, draw the knee in. One more cycle of breath here, full inhale. And then as you exhale, right leg comes down. We're going to do that movement again, but this time we'll do the left leg. So deep inhale, windmill the arms around, fingertips reach the back wall. And then as you exhale, left knee comes in towards the body. Maybe you want to flex that right leg, right foot, so the right leg is nice and active still. Take a full inhale, and then as you exhale, maybe you draw that left knee in. Notice where your shoulders are in space. Maybe you want to level them out so that both shoulder blades are resting on your mat. And then on your next exhale, let the left leg go. From here, you're going to take a nice deep inhale, windmill the arms again one more time. And then as you exhale, draw both knees in towards the body. Give yourself a nice hug, rock from side to side, forward and back, just moving the spine along your mat. And then you can either rock forward and back until you make your way into a seated position, or just roll over to one side and press yourself up. From here, we're going to make our way into a tabletop position. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Just going to cycle through 3 movements here. So we're going to go through tabletop,
child's pose, and then downward facing dog. And I'll guide you through all of them. But first, we're going to do a few movements of cat and cow. So take a nice deep inhale, draw the belly down as the tail reaches up towards the spine. You look forward in cow. Take a full inhale here as you press into the 10 fingertips. Then as you exhale, draw the chin in. Begin to curl the spine like a rainbow up towards the sky. And the belly draws in, arcing the spine here. Take a nice full inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, uncurl, unwind slowly at your own pace. We're going to do 2 more rounds here. Maybe you can cycle through at your own pace through your own movement of breath. So take a nice deep inhale, and then at your own pace of breath, as you inhale, you begin to curl the spine very slowly. Full cycle of breath here as you hold, as you arc the spine. And then slowly at your own pace of breath, as you exhale, you'll uncurl, unwind. 1 more round at your own pace. Deep inhale here. And as you continue to inhale, you arc the spine. Deep exhale as you hold here. And then uncurl, unwind at your own pace. We'll meet in neutral table. From here, take a nice deep inhale. The tops of the feet will rest flat against the mat. And then as you exhale, push back into child's pose. So the hips will push back towards the heels. Forehead will rest onto your mat. And you can widen the knees here to allow room for the torso to rest in between the thighs. And then from here, inhale through table. And then curl the backs of the toes. As you exhale, find downward facing dog. So in downward facing dog, feel free to pedal out the feet, shake the head yes, shake the head no. Just do your own little freestyle here for a couple breaths. Breathing in and out through the nose. 1 more cycle of breath here. And then slowly at your own pace, you're going to draw yourself forward, draw the knees down, come through table. Full inhale in table, and then exhale back, child's pose. We're going to speed up those movements a little bit now that we're a little familiar. So inhale through table. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal out the feet here for 1 cycle of breath. Full inhale. As you exhale, draw the knees down through table. Full inhale in table, and exhale back, child's pose. 2 more rounds. Inhaling through table. Exhaling back, downward facing dog for 2 breaths. Then maybe from here you can allow the tailbone to reach towards the sky. 1 more breath. As you exhale, knees come down through table. Full inhale through table, and then push the hips back, child's pose. 1 more round here. At your own cycle of breath, you'll inhale through table. At your own cycle of breath, you'll find downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, you'll hold for 2 breaths here. Breathing in and out through the nose. 1 more breath. At your own exhale, you'll look forward in between the palms and then slowly walk the feet forward, come into a forward fold. So bend the knees as much as you need to allow the sensations from the hamstrings to alleviate. Allow the head to hang nice and heavy here. Allow the arms to soften. Take a full cycle of breath here in your forward fold. And then very slowly, as if you're uncurling, unwinding 1 vertebrae at a time, begin to uncurl the spine very slowly, making your way to standing. When you make your way to standing, roll the shoulders up and around, opening up the chest. I'm going to turn to face you for 1 moment. So up and around. And then from here, we'll meet at the tops of our mat. We're going to take a nice deep inhale, bringing arms up. Maybe you look up. As you exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold again. Allow the head to hang heavy. We're going to inhale halfway up so the hands come to the shins, crown of the head reaches forward, lengthen through the spine. Deep inhale here. We're going to exhale, forward fold again. We're going to inhale up all the way up to standing. Arms come up. Exhale, hands to either side. So we're just warming up the spine here. We're going to do that 1 more time. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips, head hangs heavy. Inhale, belly rises halfway up to a 90-degree angle, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold. Head hangs heavy here, full cycle of breath. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, you're gonna inhale all the way up to standing. Arms come up. Maybe you look up. Exhale, hands to either side. From here, we're gonna slowly come into a flow. So we're gonna inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, fold forward. From here, belly rises halfway up, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold, plant the palms. You're gonna step both feet back into a plank position and drop the knees down so you come back to that tabletop position. In your tabletop, take a nice deep inhale, full inhale. And then as you exhale, knees, belly, chest, and chin will come down to the floor. Front side body resting, hands resting underneath these shoulders, tops of the feet rooted. Inhale, belly rises, baby cobra. Exhale down, press yourself through table, and then find downward facing dog. In downward facing dog here, hold for 2 breaths. I'm just gonna come up quickly just to make sure the camera's okay. One more cycle of breath here. And then as you exhale, you're gonna look forward in between the palms, walk both feet forward, come into a forward fold ahead, hands heavy. From here, belly rises halfway up, hands come to the shins, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, fold. Slowly inhale all the way up to standing, arms come up. Exhale, hands to either side. So that was one variation of a slow flow where we brought our knees to the earth in tabletop position. We're going to do that again so we get more familiar with it. So from here, inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands from the hips, fold. Inhale, belly rises halfway up, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, fold, plant the palms, walk both feet back into plank. From here in plank, drop the knees. So you come into your tabletop position, deep inhale in table. Exhale, knees, belly, chest, and chin come to the earth. Palms rooted underneath the shoulders. Inhale, rise up through baby cobra. Exhale, press yourself through table, and then find downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, 2 breaths here, full inhale and exhale through the nose. One more breath. As you exhale, look forward, slowly walk or jump both feet forward. Inhale, belly rises halfway up, hands come to the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing, arms come up. Exhale, hands to either side. So we're going to do 2 other options for that, just so that we can find different modifications. So from here, we're going to inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, belly rises halfway up, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, walk or jump, both feet back into plank. From here in plank, you can drop the knees here, or if not, simply bend through the elbows, find chaturanga. Inhale up, upward facing dog. So an upward facing dog, we're pressing through the tops of the feet and the pelvis is lifted. Inhale, look up, and then exhale, downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, we're going to take 2 breaths here again, breathing in and out through the nose. Finding a little bit more comfort in each and every downward facing dog. So maybe you want to widen the feet here, see if that feels better, or bring them closer together for 1 more breath. From here, optional to look forward and come into a forward fold, or come through plank again and find a flow. If you're finding a flow, come through downward facing dog and then immediately look forward and then walk and jump both feet forward. Inhale, belly rises halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing, arms come up. Exhale, hands to either side. So if we were missing that secondary flow, you would have just came from downward facing dog and met us in a forward fold here. So 3rd variation, we're going to inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, belly rises halfway up, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold, plant the palms, walk both feet back into plank. So 3rd variation here, we're going to inhale for 2 full breaths here. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. On your 2nd exhale, you're going to bend the elbows, find chaturanga or find table. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, 2 breaths here, breathing in and out through the nose. 1 more breath. So from here, you can look forward, walk both feet forward, meet us in forward fold, or come forward through plank. Bend the elbows, chaturanga, upward facing dog or baby cobra, downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, you'll look forward, and then we all meet in forward fold. Inhale, belly rises halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up to standing arms, come up. Exhale, hands to either side. So we're probably feeling a little bit warmer now. So anytime I cue to cycle through a flow or a vinyasa flow, that's when you'll do either the first, second, or third variation. So always either bringing the knees to the earth, finding chaturanga, adding that secondary flow, your choice on how much you want to spice it up or tone it down. And when you point though, always remember that you can stop, chill in downward facing dog, chill in a forward fold, or just meet us for the secondary sequence. From here, we're just going to do a nice little passive stretch here, stretching at the sides of the body. So we're going to do a half moon pose, meeting at the front of our mat. From here, we're going to inhale both arms up. You're going to grab the right hand onto the left wrist here. And you're going to inhale, lengthen through the center. And then as you exhale, hinge over to your right side. So hinging over through your right side, you'll feel a stretch on the left side body. So right hand on left wrist, stretching, creating a shape of a crescent moon, or kind of like the letter C, beginning to anyways. So take a nice deep inhale here, lengthen. As you exhale, hinge a little bit more over to your right side. Full inhale here, and then as you exhale, come through center, arms come down. So we'll do the other side. Inhale, arms come up. So we're going to hinge over to the left side. Right side is lengthening. So left hand onto right wrist. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge over to the left side. Begin to feel the stretch along the right side body. So maybe through the shoulders, along the right side of the ribs, all the way to the hip. And by holding on to the wrist there, you can very gently elongate that stretch just a little bit more. So another deep inhale. Exhale, hinge over to the left just a little bit more. And then when you're ready, come back through center, arms come down. You can do roll the shoulders up and around. And then from here, we're going to come into a flow. So inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, belly rises halfway up, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, walk or jump both feet back into plank. From here in plank, choose to bring the knees down or flow through chaturanga. Finding baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling back through downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, take a full cycle of breath, deep inhale. As you exhale, right foot is going to come forward in between both palms here. So you're in the shape of a runner's lunge. We're going to descend that left knee here. So we come into a low lunge. And from here, inhale up onto chakra. From here, exhale, arms come into cactus. I'm going to turn around and face you. So in cactus from here, take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, bring the elbows forward, palms touch. So opening up the back of the shoulder blades. So inhale, open up. Exhale, twist over to your right. Inhale through center. Exhale, elbows and palms touch. Inhale, open up. Exhale, twist over to the left. We're going to inhale, come through center. I'm going to come back onto my mat. As you exhale, press the palms down. Step the right foot back. From here, you have an optional flow. So come through chaturanga or meet in downward facing dog. If you're meeting in downward facing dog, you'll hold for a few more breaths. If you're cycling through your vinyasa, you're taking a full inhale, full exhale. And then from here, left foot comes forward in between both palms, coming into that runner's lunge again, but on the left side. Descend the right knee, come into that low lunge. Inhale up, arms come up. Exhale, coming into cactus again. So we're gonna do those same movements. So full inhale here. Exhale, elbows and palms come to the midline and touch. Inhale, open. Exhale, twisting over to your left side. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, elbows and palms touch. As you open up on your next breath, just as nice and buoyant, heart shining forward. Then you twist over to your right side. Coming through center on your next breath, planting the palms here, stepping that left foot back, choosing to cycle through a vinyasa. So coming through chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog, or meeting us in downward facing dog. From here, we'll hold for 2 breaths. I'm going to do a quick little camera check again, making sure everyone's okay. One more breath here. On your next exhale, you look forward in between the palms, walk or jump both feet forward. Inhale, belly rises halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up to standing, arms come up. Exhale, hands to either side. So from here, we're going to challenge the thighs a little bit now that we're getting a little bit more warmed up. So we're going to come into chair pose. In chair pose, we can bring the feet a nice hip distance apart. So if you don't know what that is, it's about 2 fistfuls in between both feet like this, or just a nice distance that you feel comfortable as if you're pretending to sit in that imaginary chair in just a moment. So from here, you're going to tilt the hips back, belly drawn in, begin to sit back. From here, inhale, arms up. Exhale, pull forward, release the thighs. Inhale, belly rises halfway up. Exhale, fold, plant the palms, walk or jump, both feet back into plank. From here, full inhale, cycle through your flow, either through chaturanga or knees, belly, chest, and chin to the earth. Meeting in downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, take a full inhale here through the nose. As you exhale, right foot will come forward in between both palms. From here, you're going to root the back left heel. So you're in a high runner's lunge here, but the back foot is rooted. And inhale up, find warrior 1. Can you find depth in that right thigh there? Can you draw the belly in? Take a full cycle of breath here, full inhale. As you exhale, hands to the hips. And then look back to that left foot there. Allow the outer edge of the left foot to be parallel, so in line with the short end of your mat. So your foot is facing and it's in line with the back end of the mat. So you're opening up into warrior 2. Finding depth in that right thigh here, opening up through the chest and the shoulders, reaching out through the fingertips. Deep inhale. As you exhale, windmill the arms around. Step the right foot back into plank and cycle through your vinyasa. So knees, belly, chest, and chin to the earth or chaturanga. Finding downward facing dog again. And downward facing dog, take a full cycle of breath. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So as you exhale, left foot comes forward. High runner's lunge here, rooting the back right heel. Inhaling up, finding warrior 1. Finding where your hips are in space, finding a nice neutral grounding through that left thigh. Beginning to parallel that outer edge of the right foot this time, opening up through the hips, finding warrior 2. Finding depth through that front left thigh again, reaching out through the fingertips. A nice broad chest here. Find a steady gaze, looking forward for a full cycle of breath. When you're ready, windmill the arms around. Step the left foot back, cycling through a flow or skipping it, going into downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, take 2 breaths. Breathing in, out through the nose, 1 more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly look forward, but this time, bring the knees down, come through table, just like how we started. Full inhale and table. Exhale back, push the hips back, find child's pose. So similar to the postures that we were doing at the beginning of class to warm up, we're now finding those postures again as we begin to cool down and slowly make our way down to our mat. So breathing in and out through the nose. My head is going to be lifted here so that you can hear me a bit better. Although you'll be in child's pose with the forehead resting on your mat. Notice how the breath moves along the back body this time. So notice how it moves along the back rib cage. Maybe you can focus your energy that with every exhale, you're pushing the hips back towards the heels. Finding softness in the spine and the shoulder blades for a couple more breaths. One more breath here. And then slowly at your own pace, rocking forward through table, resting one side of the hips onto your mat and then bringing your legs forward. So I'm going to be alternating. So I'll be facing this way and then facing towards the camera so that you can get both angles. Although for yourself, you'll just have to stay on your mat and just follow along. From here, we're going to come into a seated forward fold. So you can choose to bend the knees as much as you need to alleviate any sensations that come into the back of the hamstrings or the low back. So bend your knees as much as you need to, and then just know that over time, maybe your focus is to lengthen the legs, maybe your focus is to lengthen the spine, but choose one at a time, and then eventually you'll get to reaching your toes or just getting more flexibility in the hip and lower back area. So from here, we're going to start with legs nice and long, and then you'll choose to bend as you go along or how much you need to bend. So inhale, arms parallel to your mat. As you exhale, hinge forward. Maybe the hands come to the shins. Maybe they come to the knees. Maybe from here you notice, oh, there's a little bit of sensations coming into my low back. I'm going to bend my knees here and then slowly over time, lengthen. Take 2 cycles of breath here. And then at your own pace, unhinge, unwind. We're going to bring the right sole of our foot to the inside of our left thigh. So you're just going to turn around to face you. So right sole of the foot to the inside of the left thigh. We're going to come into that forward fold and hinging position again, although we're going to hinge over the left leg. So inhale, arms parallel to the mat or the earth beneath you. And then as you hinge forward, hands come to the shins, knee, maybe they wrap around the foot, your choice. And then imagine as if the crown of the head was reaching past the toes here. Imagine your gaze is looking down towards your right knee. Maybe even the forehead one day is aiming to touch the knee. 2 more breaths here. Draw your belly button towards the inner left thigh on your last breath. And then as you exhale, unhinge, unwind. We're going to keep the left leg as it is. We're going to draw that right inner thigh towards the midline of the body here. So right foot is flat. And then from here, we're going to come into a gentle twist over to the right thigh, to the right side. So belly button is going to be aiming towards the inner right thigh here. So from here, you're going to inhale, arms parallel. If a bind is in your practice, you can go ahead and access a bind by wrapping around that right shin. If not, you don't have to do that. You're just going to gently bring your arms back into cactus. And when you're ready, you'll just twist over to your right side. Keep in mind that right knee likes to open, so you're actively drawing it in. Draw the belly button in, aiming towards the inner right thigh. So it's an active twist here. Elbows reaching to either side of the room. Full inhale here as you twist. Maybe as you exhale, you find a little more depth in your twist and hold. And then untwist, unwind. Bring the arms down, right leg down. We'll do the left side. So left sole of the foot to the inner right thigh. From here, inhale, arms parallel to the earth. Exhale, hinge forward. Maybe the hands don't even touch the right leg or the right side body. Maybe the hands come to the earth to focus on the opening of the chest. Play around with it. You're here for a couple breaths. Find comfort and ease so that you can hold the posture and then allow yourself to do 2 breaths from there. Breathing in and out through the nose. One more breath. As you exhale, unhinge, unwind. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing on the left side. Draw that left knee in towards the midline of the body so it's nice and zipped towards the center line. Right foot, right leg nice and flexed so that's active. Again, if a bind is in your practice, left arm will come wrap around that left shin, right arm behind you, and you're interlacing the fingertips behind the back body. However, if not, join in on just a simple twist with the chest opener, knee drawn in, inhale up, arms come into cactus. As you exhale, belly drawn in, and then you twist over to your left side. So left side as the belly button draws into the inner left thigh. Draw that thigh in, full inhale here. Maybe exhale, find another gentle twist. And then when you're ready, unhinge, unwind, come through center, arms come down, legs come down. Give your legs a nice little shake here if you feel the need to. And then we're going to slowly come in to a laying down position, not Shavasana or resting pose just yet. We're going to go into bridge, and then we're going to do thread the needle, and then we'll go into Shavasana. So I'll guide you through the next couple postures. So from here, you're going to come into a laying down position. The soles of the feet are going to be flat against your mat, knees bent, knees facing the sky, arms to either side of the body. And then from here, for balance, the palms can press down onto the mat. So we're going to do a little foot exploration here just to see what brings you more range of motion and more comfort for the hips. So we're going to play around with 3 foot positions. So the first foot position, you'll allow the heels of the feet to be as close to the glutes as possible. So it might feel a little discomfort or it might feel comfortable for you. Palms planted, inhale, press the hips up and hold. So just see how high the hips went up. See how high up the spine has lifted. So for us ladies, maybe you're resting on the bra line of the spine here. Just assess and then exhale, come down. Second foot exploration, you're going to scooch the heels a little further away from the glutes. Maybe this feels a little bit more comfortable already, maybe not. Plant the palms, inhale, lift the hips up and hold. See if you've gained more height or more range of motion in the hips here. See if the spine has lifted more. See how all of that feels for one more breath. And then slowly come down when you're ready. So third and final foot exploration, you're going to move the heels even further away from the glutes. So from here, planting the palms again, inhale, lift the hips up. Maybe you gained more height. It stayed about the same. The first, second, or third foot exploration worked better for you, so you can go ahead and do whichever worked best for you now. And then when you're ready, you're going to inhale, lift your hips up. So as you plant the palms here for balance, assess if the glutes are engaged and see if you can use the strength in the thighs more and disengage the glutes to see how that changes the depth and the range of motion in bridge pose. Plant the palms here, hold here for 2 more breaths, breathing in and out through the nose. And then when you're ready, slowly come down. Legs nice and long against your mat. You can wiggle them out here. Take a full cycle of breath. We're going to come into thread the needle posture next. So from here, you're going to inhale. Left foot is going to be bent. So left knee bent, left sole of the foot flat. The right leg or the outside of the right ankle is going to come to rest onto the left thigh. So from here, you're creating the shape of a figure 4 position with the legs. Stay here if this is enough depth for you. If you want a little bit more range of motion and more depth, you can lift that left leg into a 90-degree angle and hold here. Notice how that right corner of the hip feels. If you're wanting more range of motion, you can bring the fingertips to interlace behind the left hamstring or over the front of the left shin. You'll be here for about 4 breaths. So just see what feels better for you. See how your shoulders interact so that they're not stretching to make the stretch happen. They're still resting on your mat. Notice where the back of the neck is in space. And notice on that right corner of the hip for your last couple breaths. On your last exhale, slowly bring that left leg down. Arms are going to come to either side of the body. So they're going to come into a T-shaped position, keeping the legs exactly as they were and thread the needle. And then from here, with an arms in a T-shaped position, allow your body to slowly come over to the left side. So the right foot is resting onto that left side. So you're bringing the spine into a gentle twist here. Arms in a T-shaped position. And if you want to include the neck into the stretch, allow your gaze to look over to the right side. So holding here for a couple breaths. Maybe you can imagine as if you're breathing into that right rib cage, right lung only. One more breath here. And then slowly at your own pace, come through center. Bring the right leg down, and then we'll switch sides. So right foot down, right knee bent, left ankle or the outside of the left ankle resting on the right thigh. Coming into thread the needle posture on the other side. So again, finding the range of motion that works best for you. So keeping the right leg firmly planted, right leg lifted, or interlacing behind the right hamstring. And then maybe with every exhale, you draw that right thigh closer to the body. By doing that, you'll feel the sensation more in that left corner of the hip. So know whether if it's too much or if you need to back off a little. Couple more breaths here. One more cycle of breath. Bringing that right foot down, legs stay as they are. Arms can come back into that T-shaped position again, or for a little bit more of a variety, you can bring them into cactus arms. So bending at the elbows, palms facing up. And then from here, twisting over to your right side. So left foot reaches over to the right side. And then you can look over to the left side for that gentle twist. Breathing into that left lung, left rib cage for your next few breaths. So as you stay in this posture, I'm just going to do one more quick camera check as we're getting close towards the end of class. So slowly in that laying down twist, you're going to bring the legs back through center. Bring the legs down. Legs can come nice and long along the mat or the earth beneath you, coming into that final resting posture known as corpse pose or shavasana, where you consciously begin to invite stillness into the body. So just beginning to allow the muscles to soften as the forehead and all the muscles around the face relax. Shoulders soften and melt, arms release. Your next breath softens the abdomen and the thighs, all the way to the tips of your toes. And laying here in Shavasana, maybe you let your eyes close, resting here for a few breaths. So in this laying down position with the eyes closed, you're welcome to stay here and just allow the stillness to kind of take over like a wave of relaxation. If you'd like to join in the next few minutes before we end the class, just in a quick little meditation before you go off into the rest of your day, you're welcome to sit up and join me, or you can continue to lay down, your choice. No one's watching, so you can choose to honor whatever option works best for you. If you're choosing to sit, you can have the legs crossed or legs nice and long, your choice. Arms soften to either side of the body. Almost as if the base of the spine was plugging into the earth. You feel a sense of elongation along the spine, all the way to the crown of the head. And you can choose to do this laying down or seated, or staying in Shavasana, but you can bring one hand to the belly, just on top of the belly button, resting on the abdomen, and one hand resting onto the chest in the center of the heart space. And from here, just bring awareness to the inhales and exhales through the nose. Notice the natural movement of the breath as you breathe in and out. Notice how the breath moves within the body. So with the hand resting on the abdomen, in your next few breaths, just notice the rise and fall of the abdomen. Notice how the abdomen presses against the hand as the lungs fill up with air. And notice how the belly falls towards the center as you exhale. Allow yourself to do that the next couple rounds of breath, just acknowledging the rise and fall of the abdomen. And then slowly bringing your awareness to the hand resting on the chest. Maybe you notice just a subtle movement in the rising of your chest as you inhale. And very subtly, you notice the chest fall on the exhale. Continuing to breathe in and out through the nose. Maybe lengthening that inhale just a little bit longer. And emptying the lungs just a little bit more on your next exhale. Really using the full capacity of the lungs here as you breathe in and out. We'll do 2 cycles of breath work together. So the way that it'll work is we'll exhale to prepare. We'll inhale for a count of 4 and hold the breath. And then we'll exhale for a count of 4 and hold the breath, or hold on the retention of no breath. I'll guide you through all of it, and then we'll do 2 rounds. So we'll exhale here together. Inhale deeply through the nose for a count of 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath filled with lungs. Exhale through the nose for 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Inhale deeply through the nose for the second round for 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Exhale deeply for 3, 2, 1. Hold on the retention of no breath. And then slowly, keeping the eyes still closed, let the arms rest to either side of the body. And allow the breath to just begin to move naturally in and out. Notice what happened to the thoughts when you were only focused on your breath. And acknowledge that you were in control of that, one breath at a time. It was so great to be here with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining. For those of you that did join, remember that the class on Tuesdays starts at 3:30 every Tuesday, and it's a 45-minute class. And then if you wish to join me on Fridays, I'm here on Fridays as well. If you have any questions, I'll stick around for a little bit. I will unmute it in case anyone has any questions. But yeah, other than that, hope to see you all next week. Have a great day, guys.